Right? You got it. So now you know.
Okay.
You know almost the entire thing.
Should we say something like take 102? Or how do you say it?
I like that. Well, this is
We know what it is.
This is file. This is file 102, and it'll probably be whatever episode it is.
Oh, yeah.
A special one.
Gotcha.
Let's get this real straight. Let's do a real quick recap, and then I will give you back the rudder. This is an important day. This is an important episode for our radio show. We've come a long way. We've made a lot of episodes. We started with nothing. Now we got everything we need. We know how to do it. You know how to produce it yourself. You can produce your show and anybody's show.
Yeah.
Right? What's that beat? Facts.
Yep.
Sponsors, production, setting up the equipment, doing the thing, doing it, putting it together. You can do it. We know how to do it. We've done the whole thing. We've done it a few times in a few different ways, and each time we do it better.
Agreed.
And now it's cracking, right?
Agreed.
So as soon as it's really on and cracking, things are on and cracking, realness is on and cracking. The last few episodes we've done have been just, by any standards, right? By two little goofballs having fun recording things.
I feel like they're very modern and relevant.
They are very
More
modern and
than
relevant.
anything else that I hear going on out there.
I'm gonna give it up. You tell me.
Yeah,
You say it.
no, just that little part, because you can hear radio everywhere, and they're, well, let me tell you about the traffic, or oh, here's what we heard in the media and the news. No, this is not that.
This is not that.
Real.
Okay.
So we have a serious subject matter.
We really do.
Um,
On it.
I don't know if you want to start it.
No,
You want me
go.
to start
Go,
it?
go, go.
Okay, so we were talking earlier about the difficulty with healing people who are in abusive relationships. So the thing that I've noticed is when I start working with someone that is in an abusive relationship, it goes really well. They're so excited. They're freaking out. They're feeling closer to God. They're feeling things that they have forgotten about, that they haven't felt in so long. They're feeling like they recognize truth. They're excited to have answers, just things that they just needed a little help. They didn't know how to get there or how to do that. And so when you start teaching someone how to respect and love themselves, I'll call it proper behavior. But really, it's just not. Should I turn to the side a little?
No, you're good.
Am I
but
popping?
You're good. A little bit, but you're good.
I don't know why I'm popping so much this time.
Because you're popping
I think,
today.
I think because I'm.
So I screwed it up. See?
No, it's because
I blew
I'm
it.
passionate about it, though. So
Yeah.
I'm getting excited. So I'm a
Popping
little
and
louder than
passionate.
usual. But
The mic is hot too.
is it?
Well, we're
Do
doing
we want to
good.
start over?
No,
I
we're
think
good.
so. Okay.
We're riding the mic. We're learning. We're sensitive. We're sensitive to everything. So
Okay.
that's what we're doing.
But as soon as that person starts drawing some boundaries, sticking up for themselves, or letting the people around them know, hey, this is not okay, whatever it is, they're abusing you, they are taking advantage of you, manipulating you.
Controlling.
Yeah, just have absolutely beaten you down to a pulp so you don't know really what's right and wrong anymore. You know this doesn't feel good, but you're not sure how to fix it. And when you start seeing that rainbow, that light, this person who's been able to control you for so long starts freaking out. They're losing their reins. And so the first thing they do is absolutely pull the plug. They pull the plug and make sure that that person isn't gonna be hip to what they're doing anymore. And
Yeah, let's not screw this up. Let's make sure this is very clear. When people who are in twisted, convoluted, screwed up relationships, abusive and controlling relationships, begin to want more than that, or to empower themselves beyond that, or to seek help outside of the scope of that. The person who has been, I believe you used the word reins, like The one who's been reigning over that one, as if by a leash or worse,
Exactly.
starts yanking hard on that leash, even worse. Like a tug on that leash by a person seeking that freedom from, could be anything, people. Could be anything. It could be, grandma feeds me too many tortillas. You know what I mean? That's the kid going to run out of the house and say, please, no more tortillas. Then there's people who are having really bad things happen to them on a regular basis and their children, and they cannot escape. Because when they begin to seek something outside of that, solace or refuge or enlightenment or a safe place, sanctuary, perhaps someone who can...
Even literally something as small as kindness.
Kindness.
Just getting
an
kindness
outside
from another
source.
person, it feels so good, you know, and that starts to cloud the waters that this manipulative person has been, you know, ruling over and controlling. They start freaking out at the loss of control.
We need to do something about that. Is there something to be done about that? Because that is rampant in society. It's rampant everywhere on the planet.
That's kind of what I was coming to you for, because I'm not really sure what to do. Me personally, I get boxed out. That person will contact me and let me know their significant other or whoever it is that's controlling everything going around, because I do shed light on their behavior. And here's the thing. I'm one of the nicest, kindest people in the universe. I take, everybody's side into consideration, probably way more than I should. So this person that's being abusive or whatever, I really take them into consideration and even try to help the other person understand where they're coming from.
They are looked upon with love despite
really
their horrendous and...
we don't badmouth them.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that. It's
some of us might.
No, but I don't.
No, I know, you're good. You're
it's
good.
literally just enlightening them to the truth of things. Just the truth of things. And that other person to have that veil drop, to have that show dissolved, or someone else can actually see what they're doing, they lose their mind.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden I become the devil,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, their entire world is shattered. Their entire manipulative world is shattered because someone had the audacity and or kindness to show a little bit of kindness to a person who had been locked in a cage perhaps for decades on end.
And that's where I'm not sure what to do. So I'm open to suggestions or whatever you think. I would love to hear your take on it, because I worry that they're going to get abused further. You know, is it bad for me to? Really, all I'm doing is showing compassion. I would say opening their eyes, but it's literally just being kind to somebody. So if that's going to get them abused further, that concerns me. You know, part of me feels like, well, if they came to me, they were led to me. You know, I don't just walk around going, oh, by the way, I can tell you're abused. You know, even if I can, that's not my place to intervene. But if they come to me, for sure, I will absolutely help. And so I'm just not sure, what do you do there? That person's a competent,
yeah.
I'm trying not to pop the mic.
I know you're doing good.
But they, you know, but then you wonder how much, if you're being so abused and you're that shut away, that the tiniest bit of kindness, you know, melts your soul and changes your life. I don't
How qualified and prepared are you to do certain things when you're in such a state, right?
Yeah. So I don't know what we do there.
So
pray for them, obviously, but what can you physically actually do? I think all of us are kind of to the point where, you know, talking is not enough. Sharing information is not enough. Like,
we set this up as we call it a heavier episode. Heavier, it's deeper, right? We're talking sort of specifically about personal manipulation. You know, personal manipulation, right? Okay, so that's one person who's controlling another person. These are things that do happen. And there are ramifications that we're talking about,
it's
okay?
a lot.
So let's not pretend that these things don't exist.
No.
Okay, Now let's just look at that and expand it further into just flat out slavery, right? Because there's slavery all over the place.
Yeah.
In fact, most people out here are, in fact, have been slaves.
And
We've all been slaves.
It really
Let's
is. It's
not get it
usually
twisted.
somebody who is stuck in a place where they don't have financial control. They don't understand how to get out of their situation. And this person is literally controlling their life.
Yes.
And they are sort of a slave. They do get
Yes.
beat often, or whether it's abused,
whatever,
I guess is
yeah.
the better word. Because it's
Abused,
not always
beaten,
necessarily
yeah.
physically, but sometimes it is.
Mm-hmm.
But abused for sure.
So these days and times, are not nearly as troublesome and confusing as our media friends would have us believe. Now, I'm just saying that because the outside forces out there are insisting on things being complicated and impossible and just a never-ending source of confusion and
And it's true, because I don't want somebody to just be sitting there at home and then now they're tuning out because they can't understand what you're saying. So you might have a lady or a man, whatever, person,
Yeah.
that has a pretty fairly decent life. For whatever reason, they're sad or they're depressed or they can't get out of their head. And so to that individual person, it feels like the world is falling down around them, especially with all of this heavy stuff that's going on in the world right now. They feel like they're losing their mind. They might feel suicidal. They don't know what to do. But fact of the matter is, that's a you problem. That's an internal problem. If you were to look around you, you probably have a fairly nice house. Your bills are probably paid. Probably not that far behind. Whatever. It's not that big a deal.
but for somebody who is
But then there's the other. So I think, when you look on social media, like you were saying, things are not quite that bad. Like they're really not. That a lot of people have personal drama, but personal trauma is not the same as
controlling and manipulation and abuse within a relationship.
miserable, abusive life.
Yeah. So for the people now, we can speak to the thing as a whole, or we can speak to the abuser, or we can speak to the abusee, who's now we can speak to this many ways.
All of it. When you said life is not really as bad as it looks on social media, I just don't want people to.
No, I know.
Because I represent how people's brains work. Because they're gonna go, well, it's everywhere. No, it's not everywhere. You did not go to the store and have to walk through protesters. Like that's not what happened today. You had to put a mask on to go into a store. I know it was traumatic, but it's not the way it is online. That's not real life right now in your most people's personal life. It's not.
If somebody is in abuse, and let's just say a woman, if a woman is in an abusive relationship and a controlling, manipulative relationship, and she has come to a place where she's no longer willing to exist or subsist in that context, and makes an effort and an attempt to step outside of it, to leave it, or to seek a life that is perhaps unauthorized by the controller, right?
And it's usually always the same story. It's usually, not always, but usually that they said a prayer. They always tell me I said a prayer. Sometimes it's to, just all different reasons, whatever their prayer was. But it's usually that they said a prayer, and so they feel very excited, like a prayer was answered.
Yes.
And then immediately gets, fairly immediately, as soon as the person that gets hip to it gets shut down.
There are people like you and people like myself. And the word for people like us, when the time is right, is intercessor. For whatever reason, we find ourselves in the middle of a thing or abreast of a certain scenario, and we're somehow impelled or implored or compelled to, find out what's going on. So an intercessor is someone who steps in between two people to see to it that it goes right, and goes well. Nobody male or female, woman or man, is here to be controlled or manipulated by another. That's not what we're here for. That's not what we're here for.
Yep.
Okay? So we're fortunate in the times we live in, despite what people would say, maybe, we're fortunate in that these injustices and these imbalances in relationships whereby one person holds some really sick, obsessive, and twisted authority over another. First of all, the context and the space is here for these things to be resolved. Secondly, they are to be resolved and they will be resolved, meaning controlling of another human being by manipulation
is completely coming to an end.
is completely coming to an end.
Everyone's getting educated, and
Yes.
nobody's tolerating it anymore.
Whatever dramas that we've seen played out a million times on 80s television and 90s television, and every drama that we've ever seen about, a man lording it over a woman, or a woman lording it over a man, either one utilizing children,
That's a big one right now, yep.
right? All the sexual abuse, all the lying, right? Portraying one thing while truly doing something else. All of it's coming to an end because deception is clear when the truth is clear. Deception is not hard to detect, right? When the light is shined on it. So when someone of a certain character, let's say, finds ourselves, right, meeting a woman who is in one of these relationships, and it becomes quite obvious, quite clear, that there's a manipulative man on the other end of that reign, right? First of all, it takes some heart. That's how it is. We just can't any longer depend on anything so flimsy and weak as a legal system or some sort of state-operated decision-making think tank to decide how we regard each other, how we regard ourselves, and what's to do with kids and what's to do with women in these circumstances. Because anyone who's been controlled and manipulated and abused and had someone else's, weight and authority and dominance, hovering over them for lots of time, first of all, they don't need to be waiting around. They need to be free from it. Second of all, we can't be waiting around for red tape and legal processes, right? So, in simple terms, there has to be a step taken, and there has to be a path out, right? An intercessor with sufficient compassion and sufficient tact, right? Just a person. Just be anybody. It really can, but it has to be the right somebody, the right anybody. Can facilitate, right? The extraction, of a slave, essentially, from a slave master. Anybody who is, let's say, used to or comfortable with or familiar with relating, right, to your fellow humans or your fellow, companion as a piece of property or something that is to be domineered and manipulated and controlled. First of all, those days are over, from the lowest to the highest. Second of all, your behavior, your dis-ease, your distortion is readily apparent despite your flimsy facade and Colgate smile. Right? These
really
things are not
perpetuators of
hard
a show.
to determine and to discern. Human beings have souls and spirits that are reflected in their face and through their eyeballs. Those are subtle clues as to someone's character. Not so subtle clues are keeping some kind of boot on your wife's neck and using children for some personal, I don't know what.
Gross gain.
Yes, right? So if you're a woman looking to get out, know where your sanctuary is and know who your pillars of strength are. If you don't have any pillars of strength and don't know anything from anything, and you're locked in,
Usually they
and you're-
don't because they're kind of locked away.
Yeah.
They're removed
so
from their families,
Yes.
from society, from all of that. And then
Yes.
it's been so long since they've
Yes.
seen light or other people.
Yes. So many, many, many people, in fact, you could say even all of us, right? There's reason to be disappointed and sad that we've had to endure so much at the hands of people who are so weak and petty and cheap, okay? But there's much reason to be encouraged, like,
Be of good cheer.
yeah, that part. It's really like you can go
Yeah.
all the way, right? Be of good cheer, right? Because real love, real light, real, companionship. Even that, what's up? Can we be buddies? Can we share a sandwich? Dope. Let's do it. Right? Real rapport, real safety, real sanctuary is really here. It's really here.
And taking over.
It's really here.
Yeah.
Right? You love the word shenanigans, and you use the word shenanigans to such great effect that I said, I got to snag shenanigans now, I don't like to bite people's style ever, I bit everybody's style like that much, But I love shenanigans because people who are used to using shenanigans, the worst kind, that's done.
Yep.
Right? So
So is there a thing we can do to help them, or we just tell them, hang on, we're taking care of it from the outside in?
taking care from the inside out,
Inside out?
from
Okay.
the inside out, you yourself are a representative of a safe haven. I'm a representative of a safe haven. You're a representative of a lifeguard. I'm representative of a lifeguard.
Yes.
Some of us are just that, right?
It's just innate.
We recognize each other like game recognizes game. You know what I mean? You don't know who it is, but you look at it and be like, I got you, right? Anything that pops off, we already know we got it covered. Nobody stresses. That's how you have a party. That's how you can run around in your bikini and have barbecue and know you're going to be safe and the kids are not going to get snatched up, right? If you're into snatching up kids, manipulating women, doing all these things, you're toast.
Yeah, the world is coming for you.
You're toast. Toast means toast. People in showbiz, I love comedy, I love comedians. I don't care if all the comedians in Hollywood hate my guts. I do not care. If you're out there, thinking you're left wing and you're all about pro-black and, pro-kid, and you're promoting and sponsoring and flagrantly advertising that inappropriate relating and physical contact with children that's supposed to be for your pleasure, that's your thing, that thing is done. I promise you, I will take over all the studios on both sides of the Santa Monica Mountains, all of them, and I will replace all of the people who work in those studios and all of their shenanigans with amazing programming, really
Yeah.
I will flip this whole place, I promise you. And all of that contingent will get wiped off the face of the earth. Wiped off the face of the earth. Now listen to this. Listen to this just before, right?
Yep.
Who am I to say such a thing, and who are we to judge, right? But watch this. At any given moment, a person with degenerate tendencies, sick inclinations, and who were perhaps encouraged to do terrible things when in fact they should have been discouraged from doing terrible things, at any given moment, any of these people who are otherwise just like you and I, they want to live, They want to go to the beach. They want to eat, food. They have a choice. We all have a choice. We all have a choice. We all have a choice. Are you nurturing that kid? Are you bringing that kid up? Are you coaxing the best out of that child? Are you allowing for the growth and natural exploration? Right? But just as we would do a plant, a common house plant, we would care for it. We wouldn't abuse it. Okay? Anybody can choose to do the right thing. Anybody can choose.
Well, I will say that I have noticed, so this is some good news. I have noticed that people who were, and I use air quotes, naturally evil, are starting to change their ways. They're
Now's the
starting to
time.
naturally gravitate towards the right, better thing.
Yes.
They're starting to make different decisions, and they're starting
Yes.
to recognize their wrongs and try to make amends and apologize and repent for them.
There we go.
I have seen that. So
precedent.
that
There's
is very
precedent.
hopeful and good. People that I never thought were going to change. I thought for
Yeah.
sure they were going to die before they changed.
Yeah.
So that's exciting and encouraging for me to see. That's just a fact and a thing that I have seen taking place. It's
That's
just
lovely.
those few, what do they call them? The people that won't give it up.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that concern me, just those couple of people. But I do see that the majority of the evil people are changing their ways and
Let's hope so.
getting softer
Let's hope so.
and seeing
Let's hope
a
so.
different thing. But
Now's the time. I
what
promise.
happens with those last couple people?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
For that lady that's stuck in that house that doesn't even know how to get out, that's so messed up and has been so abused that
She'll get
just
out. We're
there.
coming.
Yeah?
We're coming. We're
Okay.
coming.
Okay.
You bump into people for a reason.
I do.
Feel me?
I do.
And you can't say that I don't. I
For
for sure
sure.
bump into people for
Yeah,
a reason.
yeah.
So that's the look. We're talking big game with this one.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking big game, right? The very simple word of the day, the takeaway, intercessor.
Okay.
Right? Intercessor. I'm going to step in between. I'm going to step in between.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to presume that I have sufficient heart and capacity and perhaps a strong chin, right? To step in on somebody else's behalf. Right? That's courage. That's friendship. That's love. That's care. You don't have to hate on the abuser. You don't have to, be egregiously and crazy. That's the wrong word. But you don't have to be anything special to step in to do the right thing on someone else's behalf, right? You're a big, strong girl. You know stuff. I'm a big, strong dude. I know stuff. We can jump in the middle.
There's just so many.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, obvious stuff like encourage them to get out or go somewhere or get help or.
Well, we're doing it.
Okay.
We're doing it. But look, we're not missing anything here. We're not missing anything.
Well, here's the thing. If I represent the average person
Yeah.
and how they think and blah, 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 you're explaining things that might, because of their trauma level, go over their head or they
Okay,
don't
okay, so
understand.
so let's go
I'm
real
trying
basic?
to really simplify
Real
it.
basic.
Yeah. So whatever it is, just make it really simple. Like, hey, hang on, we're coming.
Okay.
Or, hey, look up a local shelter. Or, the hard part is, like you said, we talked about the legal system. There's a lot of things that they say, well, these are the proper channels that you need to go. Guess what? They don't necessarily work.
Yeah, they don't work.
So that's why I'm saying what's good, solid, do this right now. Things are going to change,
Yeah.
4 months from now, and especially 8 years from now, none of this is going to be recognizable. But right now, at
Yeah.
this time, during these things that
Yeah.
are going on in the world, these heavy, all of it,
Watch this. Women, right now, today, right now, are running this place. Running it. Believe me. Right? Running it. I wouldn't lie or make things up. They got it. Right? So if anytime on planet Earth, anytime, now's the time. Now's the time. Right? It's beyond feminism. It has nothing to do with feminism. It's beyond sisterhood. It has nothing to do with sisterhood.
With purity.
Has to do with purity, goodness,
Integrity.
love, compassion, and now's the time.
Yep.
Right? So anybody, I would encourage, right? Encourage, meaning I encourage you. I give you my heart so that you can give your heart some heart, right? I encourage you to step outside of that abusive relationship, right? If you don't know left from right, then trust that, God is here, love is here, light is here, friendship is here, fellow women are here, and dudes who will protect you are here. They're here, right? So you can come out and get it, right?
See, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. But you can.
I think just that even is an answer. If you can spark their heart so that they have faith and they can hang on, that's good. And like glow up.
Yes. Oh, glow up. There you go. Glow up. See? You just be there we go. Okay, intercession. Yeah, look at that. The stupid old white man word. And then we got glow up. That's the yucky gangster word. Glow up,
stole
right?
It from the young kids.
All right. So you got the young kids, I got the old people covered. Okay? So yeah, you don't have to be smart. You can be beat to a pulp. You can be confused. You can have your eyes closed. You can be, you can have your mouth taped up. Whatever horrendous, torture you're going through, whether it's psychological, physical, whatever that bind is, whatever that slave relationship is, you've been subjected to something that you're not entitled to. You don't deserve it. It doesn't belong to you. And now's the time to be safe. You can step outside. I promise you 10 people will show up. 10 people will show up to intercede on a especially a girl, young girl, woman, child. They will intercede on your behalf. Not everybody wants to abuse you. Not everybody wants to take advantage of you. Not everybody's going to turn your sweet, kind, super pumpkin spirit against you. Not everybody will do that. So now's the time. So it's not just that you have a chance, like run, escape, no, it's not even that serious. It might be for you sometimes to run and escape. There are people trying to get out of stuff right now today.
Yeah.
If the controlling person, starts reeling that rein back in, now's the time. Make your move, right? Take heart, take courage, make a jump. Just do it. Do it. It doesn't have to be official. It doesn't have to be pretty. But you can come out, you can be loved, and you can be brought back to health and light and structural integrity and polished up and beautified and know where you're at. Give it a couple days.
That's the main thing, yeah.
It does not have to take years or decades, or you don't have to endure it. You know what I mean? Get you a meal, get you a soda, get you a couple bags and a toothbrush, get out, bang. You can be embraced by what's happening right now, enlightened, and whatever felt like weakness, trust me, straight to strength. Straight to strength.